Our Athlete of the Week award here at Wyopreps.com is brought to you by our great friends at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming. And this week's girls winner is from Rock Springs High School. It is freshman Tarin Anderson from the softball program. And Tarin, congratulations on a great week. And it's got to be big for the team to start 2-0 in conference play. Uh, Take me back to last weekend in particular, and what was it like for the squad to start off 2-0 winning at Natrona and Kelly Walsh and Casper?
Thank you for the honor. Going back there, it was like surreal, kind of like back on the field with the girls I've played with when I was 8. It was so much fun to see them thrive and just play their game. And it's fun to see them win against stronger teams.
Talk a little bit about your weekend and just what led to your success. I know you for the week, and you guys had 3 games earlier in the week, but counting that, hit 667 as a freshman. That's pretty good.
Thank you. Um, I think my success personally comes from my coaches. I've played in national tournaments like PGF qualifiers, California. I've had coaches like nitpick, like pick all the things out of my swing, make it all nice and neat. So that's probably dedicated to my coaches and my dad because he helps too.
Good to have a little parent support. There's no doubt about that. How do you think you played? I mean, it wasn't your first game, but your first conference games at the high school level. How would you kind of assess how you play?
I think for the first inning, I was a little nervous, like, ooh, first conference game, varsity. But once I started getting in the flow, it was like I've done this my whole life, so it's nothing really to be scared about.
I got you. But was it a little different? I mean, club ball, travel ball, that's a little different. Is it kind of cool now that you're part of a high school team?
Oh yeah, it's it's so cool. It's a lot better to be able to know the girls before, because once you get on a travel team, you don't know anyone, but you come back and you know all these girls, so it's kind of like a family reunion.
I got you. I got you. What do you think was the difference, especially in those 2 conference games? What put Rock Springs over the top in Casper last weekend?
I think our work ethic and our like need to win. Our coach before each game was like, "This team is out for blood. You need to play hard." So took that personally. So we weren't gonna let them win, even though there's a few scares. We weren't gonna let it slip.
I got you. Let me ask you now. Rock Springs also played in that Makeup Cheyenne Softball Invitational. You played some pretty good competition in Cheyenne East and Cheyenne Central. I know you went 1-2 on that day. Were there certain things that maybe you learned about yourself and the team learned about itself that maybe you kind of adjusted going back on the road later in the week to Casper?
Oh yeah. I learned that turf fields are not the same as dirt, and I've not played on turf fields. Um, I also learned that you can't expect yourself to hit the ball every single time. I hold myself to a pretty high standard of you need to hit the ball. Come on. But it's not going to happen every time, and you can't get down on yourself just because you didn't hit the ball.
You seem to have some high expectations as a freshman. Where does that come from?
That comes from my dad. He really just sets the bar high, and if I don't meet that, it's all or nothing.
Oh, geez. All right. Well, hopefully he gives you a little bit of slack here and there. I mean, you did have 12 hits, 9 extra base hits last week, drove in 11 runs, scored 8 times. For you, how does this team keep improving? How do you keep improving? How does this team keep improving here since we're just a few weeks into the high school softball season here in Wyoming?
This team, I've said this again, their work ethic is just crazy. They know when it's time to play and when it's time to buckle down and work. They improve every practice. We're doing something to make us better. And I think that's amazing, honestly, because they make me better. Their work ethic inspires me.
I gotcha. What's it like to play for Coach Ice and the staff there at Rock Springs High School? How would you kind of describe it?
It's a blast, honestly. Those coaches are so fun to play for. They also know when to joke around, also when to tell us to shut up and do what we need to do. It's just so fun.
All right. Areas where you feel like you can improve here early on as a team and individually.
Um, as a team, I think we can work on our communication, but that takes time. That takes time.
Okay.
And personally, I think I need to learn to throw from my knees more because I've been in the habit to just stand up and throw, and that's not fast enough anymore.
You're at the high school level. You're learning quickly there, Tarin. Well, congratulations on being our athlete of the week for the girls. Thanks for taking a few minutes. Before I let you go, real quick, where does your love and passion for softball come from?
It comes from my parents who have just always supported me in every decision I've made.
Okay. And was softball something that was interest you at a young age, or did you just kind of happen into it? How did that come about?
I originally played soccer, and when my dad forced me to play softball, I was not into it at all. But then once he was like, "Taryn, you're kind of good at this. You need to like it." So,
All right. Well, all right. Well, kind of a love hate there, it sounds like
yeah.
almost. Well, pretty good debut for a freshman. Congrats again on the award. Thanks for the time, Taryn.
Thank you.
We continue talking about our Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming Athletes of the Week here at Wyopreps.com. And our boys' honor this week goes to Sundance's Keaton Mills, who won two events last week at the Laura Cord Memorial Invitational in Newcastle, won the high jump and the discus. So you're getting it done in the field events. No track event? No, I'm just kidding. Keaton, congratulations. First of all, describe how has the start to this outdoor track season been for you individually?
Honestly, been great. I mean, this is the first year with the weather that we've been able to get out and get going on field events and not just running inside. So, been really beneficial from that aspect, I'd say, just being able to get a head start that we hadn't gotten in previous years on the field events.
Obviously and you're a multi-sport athlete. So what has the transition been like going from basketball to to track and field this spring?
Yeah, for sure. Um, it's definitely a different kind of conditioning, a little more stamina needed, but it's uh, very glad that I've done the other sports and it carries over for sure the conditioning, but it not to say that it's not difficult adjusting.
All right, let's talk about your two wins last week. Take me through the high jump. You did clear 6 foot. You probably want to go higher than that. Talk a little bit about what it took to clear 6 foot at the lower cord last week.
Yeah, so obviously first meet of the year, just trying to get back to the I fundamentals and just try to really focus on my form and yeah, I felt good. All the jumps up to that point felt good. Cleared 6 foot, good, and just 6'2", couldn't couldn't quite get her done. Everything felt really good, but yeah, just didn't quite get her cleared. But I was happy with form and getting my mark and getting the feel of it again for sure. So from that aspect, it was good.
Jumping's always different than throwing. So you go from the high jump to the discus. What's that like? What's that transition like? Whether it's discus first and then the high jump or vice versa, what's that transition like?
Oh, it's I can't tell you how many times I've ran to the high jump pit with throwing shoes on or run to the throwing pit with high jump spikes on. It like once when you get to the meets where you got like 5 events, 4 events, you're all over the place. But um it's very similar as far as like attention to detail, I'd say. It's the little things that make the throw or the jump for sure. So in that way, it's similar, but yeah.
You throw 135.9, I believe. Um, what went into that particular throw, if you can kind of think back and take me through it?
Yeah, so that was my last throw in finals. But the first five, uh, it was super slick ring that day. So I actually had to take off my throwing shoes and put on a pair of tennis shoes to kind of try to get some traction in the ring. And even with that 135, we were still slipping around, but luckily was able to get enough like torque on it to kind of get it out there. So yeah, it was the previous 5 set up that last one for sure. Just getting a feel for the ring.
All right. So now you got a starting point. Where do you think you can go from here the rest of this season?
Yeah, yeah. We kind of talked with the coaches on goals and stuff. And as far as high jump, I'd like to. My goal was probably like 6'4". I'd like to clear 6'4".
Yeah.
But and then on the discus, if I could, goal was getting over 150 for that.
Okay.
So
So you
that's
got
as
some,
far as numbers wise.
yeah. So you got some room to grow here. What do you think it will take
Sure.
to get there for you?
Yeah, keep just keeping staying intentional in practice and not not just going through the motions, being intentional with every practice, every opportunity I have to um, get better at it,
Okay.
whether it be high jump, discus, or running or whatever.
I got you. Speaking of that, are you going to be doing some running?
Yeah, yes, I will be.
You got to kind
They
of get into that a little bit.
Yeah. They on this first meet, they're like, let's just get you pre-qualified in your field events, and then we'll look at the runnings from there. But yeah, I'll uh I'll be in a 4x8 probably, and then we were gonna maybe try some sprinting this year. I'm not sure how that's gonna roll, but I'm excited.
You said 4x8. I was like, oh man, okay, all right. Well, good luck on that one too. So, well,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
lastly, before I let you go, what's it like to get some tutelage from Coach Hoffman? What's it like competing with him as the head coach and the rest of that staff there at Sundance High School?
It's awesome. Mr. or Coach Hofflin, Coach Julie Cross, and her daughter Victoria Cross. They're all just super knowledgeable and always encouraging. Uh, Victoria, she takes care of my high jump and always ready to critique there and help me there. And Hoff is just a wizard with the discus and shot. So just happy to be have the opportunity to be coached by such great coaches for sure.
Well, hey, good start for you. I wish you nothing but the best, and hopefully you attain your goals. And maybe we'll catch up down the road. Appreciate the time, and congrats on being our athlete of the week.
Thank you.